curtain of...
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Archipelagos of Insulinda, a very educational game for those interested in geography. Braubritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children. Friends are technically like family. For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations. It'll cost 12 real.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only. Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel compelled to look at the books? The books are all you care about.
She speaks almost as if she's trying to put a spell on you, urging you to buy more books. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become. You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, a disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you. This is a traditional Seminese ward, meant to provide protection against ill luck, bad dreams, curses, and other supernatural scourges. Inhabitants of Ile de Fantôme, the Seminine Islands down south. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time. The curtains remain shut before you. Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers. Parapsychologically speaking, we're dumb if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you. Now please step away from the curtains. Why? It's not like anyone was killed there. I am sorry, I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers. You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir. No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here.
Talking is always good. Lies. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you. Actual art degree. Trite, contrived, mediocre, milquetoast, amateurish, infantile, cliché and gonorrhea-ridden peon to conformism. I fucked me. Affront to humanity. War crime. Should literally be tried for war crimes. Resolutely shit. Lacking in imagination. Uninformed reimagining of. Lip-wristed, premature, ill-informed attempt at. Talentless fuckfest. Recidivistic shit peddler. Pedantic, listless, savagely boring. Just one repulsive laugh after another.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People. I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand why it's so important to you. Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books. It's just for decoration. Okay, fine. It's because this place is cursed. Just like Annette said, they don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
Host of hosts, she prays. Guard me and my honest business venture from the curse that lurks behind the curtains.
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation. It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy. It's not just that, officer. We're dealing with something supernatural here. It's the cacodemons feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie, lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here. Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber.
My liege, you know what this case calls for? A para-detective. Time to fire up the old lie machine. Yes, you do. The woman before you scans the store, her shoulders rigid and tense. Every now and then, she nudges her glasses.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks so much. How you doing, by the way? I'm doing okay. I'm just a bit bummed out that I've been streaming without sound for quite a while now. I'm gonna leave this be for now. Let's see if we can. Although I am a bit upset that I missed that 72% dice roll.
These
Such a bad
shelves
roll.
are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen over and over. A couple of spook novels hide amidst all the detective books. Thrilling tales of spycraft and daring do. Crime fiction is a disgrace. An asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes of the arduous everyday work of actual police officers.
What sort of playthrough are you going for? Not sure actually. I haven't played the final cut. When I last played this game, it was when it just came out. It wasn't even on Steam when I played it, and I don't know. I just jumped in. I kind of regret not having started with hardcore, but I didn't realize there was a hardcore mode now. So I'm just trying like semi-balanced. Wait, these are my stats. I kind of want to do a high intellect, high psyche playthrough, and then maybe a high physique and high motorics one as well at some point. Not sure why I went with what I went with when I created the character, but I think this is very similar to how I played the very first time. And of course I'm full on communist, because what else can you do in a world like this? Or any world for that matter.
These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work. glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends.
Communist woke up for life, dang right. I mean, if you have to be a cop, you just gotta make the best of it.
What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives.
It's really, like, I keep going back to thinking about how big of a shame it is what happens, what is happening currently to Zaum, and what has been happening for a couple of years now. Such a shame. Like, this thing would have been like a huge change for gaming. Like, you know how mad people are, like, both excited and angry about stuff around Baldur's Gate 3, and as great as that game is, it's like, I don't think it hit as hard as this one. Like, this really went back to basics and brought all the basics back on par. And I love Larian, I love all of their games, but I feel like they're more ambitious than what they can deliver most of the time.
Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of all the books found on the shelf?
Oh, sure thing.
You see Dick Mullen on the job. Get Me Mullen. The Stalwart Adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the Murder in the Orchard. The Sordid Affair of Dick Mullen. A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the Murder House. The Final Case of Dick Mullen. An Obvious Lie. Dick Mullen in the Hot Dark. The Ordeals of Dick Mullen. Dauntless Dick. Dick Mullen's Funeral Pyre. The Murder of Dick Mullen.
Dick Mullen dies?
Oh no, turns out he faked it to solve a case.
Ew. Are there any more?
Yes.
Oh no,
There's
what have I
also
done?
The Dame Who Did It. Farewell, my Mullen. Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. The morbid tales of Dick Mullen. A dark tide turns. Tragedy calls for Dick Mullen. Another one with fake death. And, of course, Dick Mullen, the murderer. In order to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become the murderer. After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen?
Okay, hold up. Think we can improve our reaction speed. Story-wise, for sure, the gameplay is out of this world though. It was so weird going from original Sin 2 to BG3 to the new Warhammer 40k RPG. Wait, which new Warhammer 40k RPG? I love all CAD games, but their random encounters are everywhere, take forever and feel like random encounters. Larian managed to make random encounters feel designed. Ah, okay, yeah. I mean, but they are designed. They're not really random encounters, are they? Although I haven't played BG3 yet. Oh, Rogue Trader. Yeah, I forgot that one's out.
Shelves filled to the brim with...
You know what? I'm gonna quick save before we try this. It's a 58% roll and we just messed up a 72%.
Filled to the brim with crime novels. Your attempt to grasp at the answer fails. It seems...
I'm gonna load this. I don't care. Because I don't wanna level up our reaction speed.
Shelves filled
Saves
to the
coming
brim.
for the win.
A quick eye notices a small caterpillar.
And we rolled double 6.
The title reads, Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity.
Oh, what do we have here? Mistaken Identity.
A worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic hard-boiled phase. The premise seems to be that Dick Mullen is framed for the murder of his best friend and has just a few days to prove his innocence.
Why does this speak to me?
Could it be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals?
That's probably right. I'm a complicated guy full of contradictions.
Then this is the book for you.
But I will not buy it, thank you. And let's take this hat off for now because I don't want to damage our rhetoric. It's a tome of fascist magic, rather candid. A quaint picture book brochure, very colorful.
The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of Famous People. you see a large variety of names, none of which ring a bell.
Look through the display of books.
Browsing through all the books with all their names makes your head spin. None of these seem important or relevant. It's all just vapid egoism. Suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. It reads, High Speed Love, the tragic true love story of Jacob Irv and Alfie Delatraz, by one Cecilia Averbrook.
What's it about?
High Speed Love chronicles the romance between two of the finest tip-top tourney racers in history. One of them is the madcap driver, Jacob Irv. His blonde mane graces the cover. Next to Irv's life story, you see a slim biography of an Occidental rock star called the Anti-Star. He's famous for shooting morphine into one of his eyeballs and cocaine
Jesus.
into the other. Next to that, Rivasholian radio personality Guillaume Bevy stands in front of a rundown drug den. He's a permanent fixture on Channel 8, reporting on real-life crime and ruining cops' days.
I really must insist you buy one of the books. Reading them is not for free. Do still browse though, but not too long.
This lady.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you. You are browsing. Go ahead. Take your time.
Anything of note in this shelf?
I would say... The Greatest Innocence. Yes, most certainly. It's an important educational tool, delving into the depths of history, religion, and their relation to innocentic power.
Who or what is an innocence?
A very influential historical figure. But surely I don't have to tell you that. You're a law officer, and law officers have at least some education.
Are you sure about that?
The book is also very daring. The author aims to re-examine the universal understandings of the innocentic system, creating a fresh vantage point and a shift in the tired order of things.
I thought it was about which of these innocences is the coolest and greatest.
Perhaps for a layman, deep analysis is necessary to peel back the multi-layered meanings.
Do her words seem vague and abstract to you?
So you recommend it?
Certainly, it's prudent for a person to have at least an elementary understanding of history and society. Imagine the chaos we'd be in otherwise.
You feel like you should get this one? Definitely. It's important somehow. There's something personal inside.
I am not trusting Inland Empire. And I don't want to spend my hard-earned money.
Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. They're held up by small pins. The board has come loose from one corner. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez. It's not really a map. It's a tourist thing. A picture postcard with buildings on it, drawn from an isometric perspective. A date in the upper right corner says 48. Still, it's detailed. Could be pretty useful for scouting ahead. You see the jagged boxes of an industrial harbor, even the whirling in rags there.
Oh, we might want that. Look at the map of Revachol.
The north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the River Esperance. Countless bridges put the shards back together, connecting city blocks to river islands. La Delta says a great artificial heart in the center, teeming with life forms and construction. To the east, rolling hillsides, Le Jardin, Stella Marie.
Man,
The suburbs
this
of
just makes me
Saint-Baptiste
think again
swallow
about
up into the megacity.
how all of this
They
is
sound
actually
rich to you.
written and it
This is
exists.
Revachol
And we
East.
could have had games in this whole universe. And the rest of the river?
Hudon. It's somewhere to live. Not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It's bad. People shouldn't live there, but they do. Then Forberg. It's almost as bad and much larger. Then Coal City. It's the worst.
And Martinez?
It's so small you can't even see it on the map. No, wait. There it is. North of Jamrock. The strip of coast next to the Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor. It looks downright despondent. It's almost Coal City, to be honest. No, Coal City is worse. A charred limb. Rain falls on its slick black streets. And then there's the burnt-out quarter in the heart of Jamrock. Is it cold in this bookstore? Or is it just you? No, this is somewhere to be. This is all you have. But it's still something. Streets and sodium lights, the sky, the world. You're still alive.
Look at the map of Insolent.
This large map displays archipelagos. You see a constellation of small dots on the light blue emptiness of the Insulindic Ocean. The largest in the northeast is La Caillou. You are here. Another, far away in the southwest, Seminese Islands, Ile de Fantôme.
What else?
Ozon, Laurentide, Fas Alamir, Archipelagos, North Arcade Islands. All just specks of dust on the vastness of the Insulindic. On the edges of the map, the color fades into a blur of dotted lines, black and white, disintegrating into mathematics. In the northeast, a dust mite stands on the north coast of Caillou, in a bookstore. It's you. Radiating outwards from you, the suzerain Revachol, with a radius of 80 kilometers, still, the crown jewel of this Isola would be barely visible.
Screen first. Can you see cities on the island?
You can, on Caillou, Revachol, a single black star, on Ozon, Fondelier, and Vilmandu, on archipelagos, Croyan Moran, Villiers, on Seminine, Olduvai, and on Laurentide, Deora of the Seven Seas. 850 million people live on these little dots, an oceanic world of culture and commerce torn apart by history.